Hi everyone, happy Tuesday. I hope you are doing well today. Today, your reading assignment is to read and analyze a poem called Joy by Molly McGinnis. So, I would like to take some time with you now to look at the poem, try and help you understand what the author is literally saying, and to understand the deeper message. So the first thing again that I always do when I read a poem is to read the title and try and think about what the author could be talking about. So let's look here. The title is Joy. Okay, pretty simple. Joy is another word for like happy. So maybe this poem is about happy things or what brings the author joy. So happy, happy things. Or we can say things that bring people joy. Okay. So I think that this is going to be a pretty positive poem. Okay. So now that I've tried to like kind of predict based off of the title, I'm going to read the poem. Now remember, we can read poetry with our eyes, but poetry should also be heard with our ears. So it's important that we take the time to read poetry out loud. So I'm going to read the poem to you. Follow along. It arrives on a spectrum the size of a DJ speaker's, colors tilting off our scale of vision and splashing up against a brilliant elsewhere. Don't try to figure it out. Step in too close. I want to run away and be lonely forever. Who knows how it came to be like this? Did you see the meteor showers over the foothills this morning? The dove asleep in the restaurant's darkened window? Sometimes the night is so warm it leaves thermal imprints across my body, glowing like strokes of bright plankton. I spread my arms and light drifts out across my whole backyard. I have only ever been held down by light. That's only half true. I have my sister, a black cat with green eyes, new friends with magical powers, doctors, teachers, a Russian cosmonaut who hangs from my ceiling talking about the life force of the moon. Who could argue? No part of my immediate past seems so alive this evening now that I am standing here on the corner by the cafe and the drugstore as black sedans roll down the boulevard, as shiny insects drop one by one from an oak so full of tiger-colored sunbeams it must be remembering dawn. Okay, so great. Now we've read the poem. Let's look at the first part. I broke down the poem into two parts. We're going to look at the first part now to try and understand what the author is literally saying before we can jump into the figurative. Okay. So to do this, I highlighted some words that I thought were really important because the author isn't very direct in what she's talking about. So I highlighted it arrives on a spectrum, brilliant, morning, and light. Um, okay, so it is a pronoun, and it usually refers to things, right? Objects, something that isn't human. So I can kind of guess that the author is talking about something and not someone. It arrives, right? So it's she's talking about it just coming, right? Then she uses this word spectrum. So when I looked up the definition of spectrum, it talked about a band like a rainbow. So I'm seeing colors, like bright colors. Okay. So I think we're somewhere out in nature, right? Again, another word I could, colors, right? So we're again, spectrum, colors, brilliant. Okay. And then she asks us a question about morning. Okay, did you see the meteor showers over the foothills this morning? So I can again make a guess that maybe it's still morning or it's beginning to become daytime. Um, in this last in these last two lines of the poem, she mentions, "I spread my arms and light drips out across my whole backyard." I'm gonna also under or highlight backyard. So I know she's outside. I know that the speaker is outside, and light is spreading through her backyard. And again, she mentions light. So she's outside because we see the word backyard. She's mentioning light. She talks about the morning, and colors and something arriving. So I think that the author is talking about the sunrise. If we think about it, it arrives, right? The sunrise is when the sun comes up. There are different colors, and we have to be outside, right, to see it, or inside our house. But so I think that the author is talking about the sunrise. So literally, okay, the speaker is watching the sunrise, okay, and is confused. So I kind of made the assumption that she was confused because if we look back at the poem, she asks like this question: who knows how it came to be, right? She's asking a lot of questions. Also, when she uses this phrase here, right? Don't try to figure it out, right? Don't try and understand it. Who knows how it came to be? So I think, she doesn't know how the sunrise happens, right? But she's not really questioning it. She is kind of confused by its daily occurrence, okay? So now we kind of understand the literal meaning of the poem, okay? She's watching the sunrise, kind of just confused about how it happens. Now let's think about the figurative. So what is the author really saying in this first part of the poem? Okay. So if we think back to the title, all right, remember the title is Joy, okay? So I think, the author is trying to send a message about joy. So I think the deeper message of the poem is the sunrise is a natural joy, right? And the author is telling the reader not to think about it too much and just enjoy, right? So I think, she asks her questions, but she also kind of commands the reader not to think about it and just to observe. And it's obvious that the sunrise is something that brings this person joy and that's happy. So this could maybe apply then to other things of nature that might bring people joy. Okay? So I'm only going to break down the first part of this poem. I'm going to ask that you continue now to look at the second part of the poem. Think about what the author is literally saying. Think about, the figurative, what is the message of the second part of the poem, and then go try out the comprehension questions. I know that you'll do a really good job. Yeah, call me again if you have any questions. Text me, email me. I am here for you. I know you're going to do a great job with this. Yeah, so good luck and have a good rest of your day.